All right. So now once we start streaming, that's the stream URL. All right, we're officially streaming. And now I'm gonna try to access the stream here. Yes.
I feel like a bull in a China shop. Andy, great to see you. Thank you. Thank you as well. How are you coping with that jet lag?
It's okay. You're going to sleep early and sitting in bed long, but it's okay.
Hey, Genevieve. Okay, cool. So that, yeah. Let me just give me a second. I gotta go to YouTube and get the link, man. Oh, you see, it's running. It's running. Okay, great. Now let me just go to the YouTube channel. Why does it not want to? Okay. I know. My computer's not handling this very well.
Yeah, I don't know more either. That's why. You're thinking you're in the UK. Although they are going to be in for a heat wave.
Alright, there we are.
How was the weather on you?
Today that I wore a sweatshirt in central London, it was
So we're gonna copy this. You see? Because everyone, okay, I gotta close this because it's gonna buffer very badly. But everyone's gonna go to this link. So I'm gonna change it. So late to geology, but that's okay. Yes.
Well, the thing about you is, I always find it pretty flexible. I mean, maybe it has to be in your job because it's like there's always something new coming down the pipe.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to take any stand on that. It's just,
Just be careful.
yeah. So what we'll do is, this will be for Dave Bush's. You got this, man. This will be.
It's barely handling this. Oof. This description.
Well, and Matthew knew you couldn't do an extension cord on but for the power, and for the power you can't do it. Doesn't matter. Give us a little bit of latitude, not much.
No, low decimal too. Not at all. Because you need a USB cable to plug into the computer.
Yeah. Right.
So
Wait, did I not just have the link here? Yeah.
Yeah, you're still, it's as long as that.
No, that's gonna be so spammy, bro.
We're gonna take this back.
Oof.
You're gonna need Picasso. I need to get out some things. By the way, do you know these? You know Juan Pablo, Mateo, Genevieve, and I don't know if you know Zach from Book Passage.
Put this in your resume.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna grab some tea.
Okay, we're live now.
All right.
So
Thank you guys so much. Thank you very, very much.
Hopefully everything can be right. You can switch to the camera, just leave the camera on.
yeah,
Leave on the preset one, I don't know.
I'm just gonna leave it as this, like this.
You want to leave on the preset?
Not like
One of
that.
the preset, okay.
And I'm just gonna tell David to just press 1 for once they're here. You see?
Yeah.
What do you think about just crazy? Random. So I'll do the first.
That's good.
Yes, should live on two right now.
On 2 right now?
Yes, because this is great because it's going to show the
Yeah, it's gonna show everything.
curves. Like some people sitting.
We're just gonna leave it as is. I gotta go to jail.
I gotta go too. You wanna go? We'll pass by food court first.
Can we still get food? I'm not gonna get food, Bob. I don't wait. Okay. Wait, did we test audio? No, we haven't tested audio yet. We just got the mics.
But he tested it out and
All right. Okay, that works.
yes, it's capturing. Yeah. Did you turn off the other one? Did you turn off the other one? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Awesome. How'd you get the live stream to work? I've only read the email. I haven't been really a part of this.
Well, I thought of using OBS because
Yeah.
I've used it in the past.
Cool.
And it was lagging a lot yesterday,
Oh, it was.
but he helped me out with it.
All
So
right. What'd you do?
It's about the bit rate, the connection with the internet, and how the computer can process that. So.
Can you guys show me one day? Oh, that sounds good. Okay, well that looks pretty good. Usually I don't like the white background for video because what it will do is it can black out the person who's... See, the camera adjusts for the brightest in this scene. So it'll close the iris down for the white to make that the proper level, and then the person is kind of blacked out. But in this case it seems to be okay. It seems to handle it.
and yeah, the presets are set. So once they're already ready for the interview, you can go to one, and it'll do the close up.
Cool.
And we have the left and right cameras in case there's someone asking a question, then we can see who's asking the question.
Oh, good, it is working. Well, I did the original design on this, but what happened is it was the camera system, but it's been all just a big, huge mess because they can't get all the pieces in. So this is like a temporary interface, let's say, to make it work. So it's not perfect.
So there's a new system that they're going to install.
It's not blacking out between, it's not losing sync when you go from one camera to the other. I like that, yeah, the flicker.
Yeah, there's a flicker.
Yeah, like that, yeah. So that's, we shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so we'll work on that. Cool. If you guys need anything, just let me know, okay? You're Juan Pablo? What's your name?
Mateos.
What is it?
Mateos.
Mateos?
Yes.
Oh, good, good to meet you. I'm Andy.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Okay, well, you know, if you guys need anything, just holler, and Dave has my cell phone number, and have fun. And then I'll see you at 3 o'clock, okay?
Sounds good. All right. This is all set.
totally agree. I totally agree because it looks so much nicer. Oh, look at that. Great. No, oh yeah, you mean for Zach? Yeah, maybe so, because I put these up here. These we own. They're left over. So if anyone wants a copy, they would like say, I would see that I was there that day. Or that looks really good. You know what else you could do? I feel like this looks kind of weird with the plastic still on it. Do you think you could make it look more like a bouquet? But here's the tricky part. At the end, would you mind presenting, not publicly like that, but just like when things are wrapping up, you can give one bouquet to the author, Margo, Miss Candela, and one to the sisters, because the sisters live together. So they could, as a thank you to the sisters. I know, I'll show you what I did. I have, you know those things you can get when you buy flowers, they keep it from dripping? Yeah. I have these. I just thought I'd put them here so they're not ugly. Oh, Sarah, here are some scissors. Oh, shoot. What? How about this? You make it look nice, and then when people are saying goodbye, leaving, just put it back as, you know, as whatever makes sense. There you go. Oh, thank you. So much. And, let's see. I think there's one. But it might be kind of tacky. I was going to add this. I guess I'm not going to do that because I left it. I had a sign that says today at 1:30. But they either know or they don't. Hold on a second. I think it's here. It's just my mind is racing. You know, like it's going in a million directions. Oh, here they are, Sarah. What do you think? Okay, and I made a ton of them so that we could do one going one way and one going the other way. And I don't know if we have time. Yeah, come join us at 1:30. Free lunch and a really interesting program. And I really feel like I need to brush my teeth. So I'm going to go, I'll tell Sarah about that. Sarah, I think I'm going to go back to the library. Thank you, thank you. The other thing you should do, Genevieve, during the show, if people are, sometimes people come in late, there's no seating, but there is seating, they're just too shy. So you could stand over here. welcome. He's such a welcoming person. And then you can actually walk them. I mean, it sounds funny. You can actually walk them and stay right there and just like be very bossy in a nice way. Because people when they're late to programs, they don't want to get in anyone's way. We don't want people. Do you know Professor Moreno?
No, hi.
Genevieve? She's a student worker in the library. And guess what? She wants to become a librarian.
Oh my God.
And then, let me introduce you to Zach. Zach, this is Hughes. Zach is from Book Passage. He's going to sell books. And Luce is a professor and the head of our funding program, which is sponsoring. Yeah. We're so excited. I'm going to be back in 10 minutes. Okay. I have a copy of the script.
Oh, I did too.
You did too. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Where did you maybe I'll sit close.
Yes, it's nice and close.
Also around the side.
And then one thing I was saying to Genevieve when you were walking in, the other thing you could do, Genevieve, in addition to being kind of a friendly / bossy usher.
Yeah.
I mean, if they really do want to stand, don't be too bossy. But sometimes people are just shy, they need a little touch. If you notice that people are standing and there are chairs, just start unfolding chairs for them. What I learned was, don't start unfolding them until the moment arises, because you don't want to have an event with a bunch of empty chairs. But if you have to add chairs at the last minute, it adds drama, and people think, wow, this is really exciting because we're actually having to unfold chairs. Okay, great. And you can actually move chairs right up here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Or they don't have to be like all at the back.
Okay. Solid. I think I'll do that. I'm always like, I'm very indecisive when it comes to this stuff. I never know. So they're listening to you. Were you guys thinking just some chairs right over here? I think that would actually be higher. I think you said put them up as people come in. Oh, so don't put them up yet? Yeah, I think you said. Oh, okay. Only if we need them. Oh, yeah, because you said it creates like drama, like if people are coming in and standing, it's like, oh, let's move the chairs when we need a. Oh, so you're saying don't put them up yet? Okay, got it. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the other room and hold the sign, because when I've done this before, I have to most of it, and so I'll make a sign that says Just channel how you're talking about writing as you totally very
Hey, I got some acrylic holders. Yeah, if you want, just hide the rest. Let's see. So maybe you guys can help me close that. Oh, but you're gonna need from 2 to. Okay. Yeah. It took me about 30 minutes, so the two of us will take 30 minutes. So yeah, don't worry. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Great. Well, let me ask your opinion. I thought it'd be cool to have Margo sit here in the middle, and then the two sisters, Jessica and Marina, would be on either side. Because I also thought the two sisters might want to sit together, but then, I don't know, there's something symmetrical about having it right in the middle.
Yeah, I did wonder though, should we maybe like try and talk
Yeah, that's true.
Sisters too, maybe like they're sitting closer together, right? Because they're right next to each other. Yeah, that makes sense.
So a little more lively. Then maybe we'll have, maybe we should switch these chairs up. And have the two sisters on this side and Margo on that side. Hi, come on in. How are you? We were just talking about you in a good way. Come on over, let me introduce you. This is Sarah. She's another librarian. Jessica, you go by Ada or Marina? Marina. And this is Geneva. Genevieve. She works in the library. She's a student worker. And Zach is a wonderful colleague from the book passage. He's here to help. Let's do that. So I think we'll have, do you two want to be on this side or on this side? This side, yeah. And then that kind of makes sense because there's only two microphones. And so she'll have one and you take the chair. And it looks like you're going to alternate? I saw yellow, blue, yellow, blue. We're the king and queen of alternating. That's kind of our thing. So when I saw that, I was like, this is going to be good. Now, if that's the case, then maybe this should go here because she's going to be more like, right?
Yeah.
I'll fix the quarter bit. I think that's how it should go.
Oh, thank you.
Reach the water. So I have 3 glasses of water in case you get drowned out.
Right, yeah. Okay.
This one could be for author Margo Candela. And those two could be for you. And we're going to pour you some water right before. It's bubbly, or we would pour it right now. You're the ones that do it flat. Debbie said she would pour it for you like 5 minutes.
Thank you, so sweet.
And then why don't you have a seat and just see how it feels? Because one thing that we've noticed in this room, you have to have your lips almost really brushing really touching almost.
In order for it to.
Yeah, like last time we did it, everyone complained they were holding it this far, it was really too far. So have a seat. And I'll pretend I'm Miss Candela. and so I'll say, please welcome Marina and Jessica DeLeo and author Margo Candela. And everyone's going to applaud. You come up and sit down. And then you have the first word. Hello, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Oh, see, I'm actually touching it. It's so weird. Yeah. My lips are literally touching the metal.
Hello. 1, 2, 3, testing.
Good.
So once again, thank you, Mrs. Candela, for taking the time to be here today. For both my sister and I, it's an honor to have the opportunity to interview you, since you're such an inspiration for us as Latinas to see what a successful individual you are.
Thank you very much. Come on in. Make yourselves at home. We're just practicing. You're our first customers. We're so glad you're here.
We would like to ask you to mind sharing a little bit about your college experience. So we know that you grew up in Southern California and attended a community college, and later on you transferred to San Francisco State. So we would like to know a little bit of what kind of struggles you faced during this process and what kind of support did you find helpful to the board.
And then she'll say, you know, what she says. Oh, 2 rules. If people are laughing, let them laugh. Like if people are laughing, let it blossom. So, and if people are clapping, stop and let them clap. Because you're going to be nervous and you're going to think, oh, I heard a few claps. Maybe I should keep talking. If she says something inspirational or something. But the rule is, no, let it grow. Because they're part of it too. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, well, that's much more comfortable. Yeah, let's do it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. You try it too. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Margo Candela, for sharing some insights. Now, would you mind sharing more about your experience after college and your process on becoming a journalist? What for you, and any connections to help you manage this process?
Oh, you two are perfect. She's going to love you. It's going to be perfect. So, any questions? It's also really nice to, to look around, you know, if you want. I mean, when you're talking to her, it makes sense to look at her, but it's also nice to kind of include the audience. Yeah. Okay, great. And during question and answer, well, I was going to say you could translate, but Ms. Candela speaks Spanish, but there are a lot of people like me who, if someone asks a question in Spanish, I'm sure Ms. Candela will translate the question. I hope she answered it in Spanish, and then she'll answer it in English. Yeah. Or maybe she doesn't, and that's fine too. I mean, it gives those of us who are monolingual an opportunity to see what it's like when you don't really understand. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Yes, you should stay here, and then we'll say, at some point, someone will say, either Bruce or I will say, let's give them one more round of applause. Everyone will clap, and then they'll stand up. Some people will go immediately, and at that point, you can just tell her again. Yeah. Great. Do you know Professor Margo? Okay, let's come over. I love that. I'm going to take a picture of that for my next event. Hey, good to see you. She said, how about roll drops? They're a little bit exuberant, huh? yesterday it was a graduation ceremony for so we had lunch and speeches. Very inspirational. Students who said, I never thought I would. I never thought I would go to college, and I was
Let's ask Dave if we should be waiting for her to see. No, because we van a estar en Domi. Para tenerlo ahí, ok. Right. I'm actually just gonna have this one. I don't think I need. Yeah, I just need one. Margo Candela. That is delicious, and let's go. Let's go. Leave this here and let's go.
This is our author, Margo Candela.
I'm Jessica.
Marita. Yes, you are sisters.
They just look so wonderful. And then when they heard it's got three sisters, they said, we have a third sister.
Which one is she from the book?
Yeah, right.
Actually, we were just talking about that outside. We were like, we already know who is who.
So if you three want to talk, just go over, I don't know, shall we show her what questions? These were maybe the questions.
I'm good. I'm sorry. We took a wrong turn, so we had to double that.
Oh my God.
And then I had to.
Yeah, I know.
Are you coming next time? Yes.
Well, finally our audience.
I mean, I have no problem. This is like I said, I'm grateful. It's so nice getting support, and it's lonely work. So this gets me out and makes me put on real pants.
Yeah, true. No, it's like also like really nice to have you as an example, like an inspiration to the Latinx community, female.
It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
You need to get on it.
Yes, exactly.
I make no apologies.
I love that.
I'm ambitious and want the book to be successful.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I'm reading your book and I'm so interested in it. It's really fun because we can relate to the field. We're talking like about our sisters. We're three, right? And we're like, I think you're number two. Like you're Claudia.
Yeah. Okay, Claudia. I'm Claudia.
Oh, really? Well, that's so interesting because I actually want to be like an author too.
Oh, we can talk. We can talk about that.
I love that. Yeah.
I have, any kind of advice. Well, we'll talk. If you have a question, and then if you have a question afterwards, feel free to reach out. I had to teach myself how to do it.
And that's one of the things that we're like asking, because we know that connections are so important.
It's all about connections, and I had none.
I'm so excited to hear more about it.
It's all about networking and community. And that's why I use it, because it's not only for my book, it's for everyone else that comes up. And for readers. I really do enjoy it.
Well, it's such an honor to be here with you today. Just get ready and we'll go over something.
And what a great way to end our school year. I think, let's give a big round of applause to all of our hardworking students. Students, just everyone in this room is cheering you on. You're almost at the finish line. Keep going. And let's see. We're honored to have Ms. Margo Candela here today. She's actually back. Yes, she's there. There she is. And she was here 2 months ago, but she came to interview Ingrid Rojas Contreras, another brilliant author. And so we didn't get a chance to hear much about her or her book, Neapolitan Sisters, or to hear much about her journey. And one of the first things out of her mouth when she introduced herself to me was, Dave, I'd like to come back and meet with your Princeton project students because I'd like to share my story. So we're really lucky that she's come back. You're here. Raise your hand if you're in Puente. Yay! Raise your hand if you're in communications class or journalism. Excellent, wonderful. Okay, super. And we want to thank Ms. Candela who made the trek back here across the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. And before we introduce her properly, I'd like to introduce to you the co-coordinator of Puente and also representing the communications department. Can you please give a warm welcome to Professors Luz Moreno and Pauline Michael.
Something that's really important to me. I talked to students about this, that when I was in college and growing up, it was very difficult to see our reflection of ourselves in our community, in my high school, middle school, elementary school teachers. Actually, we're talking about this class today. So it's important to, when we get those opportunities in leadership positions, to take them. And so when we had the opportunity to bring Margo to our students again, it had just done all that. And so I really thank Margo for coming back again to our campus and having our students be able to listen to her again. Because it's important for them to see and hear someone that looks and sounds like them. And as well, we talked in the class about, your social influence. And when you have an opportunity to support someone as they're promoting their book, as they're really wanting to continue to, put their name out there, take those opportunities and really so just also their way of continuing to use their social reports to support someone that looks like them, or to support something that is important to them. So it was important for women to be part of this.
And I don't have much else to add. That was you. One thing I'm going to say. Oh, yeah. So as far as I endorse everything that Lou said, in terms of journalism too, we have a media writing class that's going to be happening next semester. So I'm going to put the information up on the board. It's COM 111 media writing. It's on Monday and Wednesday from 1:40 to 3. And so this is how you can get your start in journalism. Hopefully the journalism club will keep going next semester, because it's just another way for you to have a voice. And we need more diverse voices and stories being told in media. So I hope that either you look for the journalism club next semester, or you take the media writing class, or just take the comm class with me at the studio. All right.
Great.
So I'll put it on the board as well.
But please do. Thank you very much. Both of from community ed to Valerie and Tessa. Thank you for coming. So, now I'd like to introduce Ms. Candela. But you know who's going to actually interview her? She's written a book about three sisters. That's what her book's about. It's a really funny book. I enjoyed it. And it's a very poignant book. It's very moving. But Lou said, wait a minute. We have two sisters. Why don't they interview her? So we've got today, we're lucky to have Jessica and Marina de Leon. Can you wave? Yay! These are two Guatemalan sisters who returned to the United States several years ago to pursue their degree in higher education. They are both first-generation college students whose families. Is it maybe it's not on? Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. If you're on live stream, I'm not sure you heard anything. Welcome, live streamers. We're glad you're here. Anyway, thanks, Liz. So Liz said, let's have these two wonderful sisters interview. They're both first generation to go to college, and we're so proud of them. And what makes their story really powerful is that their families aren't here to support them. So they don't have the same kind of support that a traditional college student would have their family back in Guatemala. So they too can identify with the pressures and expectations of being a, quote, good Latina daughter. That's what this book is about. What does it mean to be a good, in quotation marks, a good Latina daughter, regardless of the fact that their mom is and family are in Guatemala. They have both been involved in the Puente program at College of Marin, and they look forward to transferring in the near future. Now, Ms. Candela will be really excited to hear that when we told Jessica and Marina that, Ms. Candela's coming, would you interview her, they were thrilled. They were really excited to meet and interview a published Latina author. We were looking forward to hearing about Ms. Candela's life growing up in Southern California, going to community college. Okay, does that sound familiar? And transferring to, get this, San Francisco State. So she can talk about what it was like going to San Francisco State, where a lot of our students go. We are also going to hear about how Margo became a journalist, a writer of factual nonfiction articles for newspapers and magazines and websites. And then she transitioned into becoming a novelist, a writer of fiction, things that she's made up that help us understand how people think and work and love one another. She's funny and she's poignant. There's a little bit of sex in this book. Yeah. So I love that. There's actually more sex in this book than I expected.
Yeah!
I got to that and whatever it was, 45, and I go, oh wow. You should have my full attention. We're talking a lot about book banning this year, and if anyone has a problem, it's section of the book. But librarians say, I've got 60,000 other books you can read. We don't have to ban a book because it mentions sex, right? Sex is part of life. I think it deserves to be in a book, especially when it's written by a Latino author. So, if anyone does have a problem, I thought I would tell them, oh, well, if you don't want to read this book, why don't you read the book of the year at College of Marin, which is the 1616 Project? That's the person to do that. But I'm kind of waiting for someone to object, but so far no one's objected. Ms. Candela loves to explore the Latinx experience, family dynamics, sisterhood, friendship, what it means to be a good friend, the world of work, and more. Friends and book lovers, please give a warm welcome to Jessica and Marina de Leon and Margo Candela.
And thank you once again, Ms. Candela, for being here today, for taking the time to share this moment with us. For both me and my sister, it's an honor to be able to have a conversation with you and just get to know you a little bit more. And we are both really inspired by you, both of being Latina and just having the example of what a successful person can achieve. We want to start off by asking you a little bit about your college experience. So we know that you grew up in Southern California and you attended community college and later on transferred to San Francisco State. So we would like to know a little bit of what kind of struggles did you face during this process and what kind of support did you find help you move forward with it?
I am the first generation of Mexicans. My parents are. I can't hear myself because I talk so much. I don't want to first generation, first in my family to go to college. My older sister was taking dance classes at community college, and she took me to register. Okay. Yes. When you grow up in a Latino family, you're used to sharing. She took me to register for classes. I had no idea how to do it. I didn't know how the process worked, and it was before computers. So they literally just in the upstairs cafeteria and the table set up. You would go from station to station with a piece of paper and your check at the end, and that was when we registered. My first semester of GCC, I failed every single month. Then I took a winter break, and I remember talking to my mom about it, and I felt ashamed that I had done that, because I had spent all that time, and then I messed up. I went back the next semester, even though my mother kind of encouraged me. My family was tepid as far as me pursuing my education past high school. I went back the next semester, failed half my classes, and then I took the summer to decide what am I going to do. And I said, I can't live with this failure. So I went back and I retook all the classes I failed, and then figured out what I wanted to major in, which I thought was child development. Then I realized I didn't want to take care of other people's kids for $7 an hour. And I was one class short to stay on my dad's health insurance. And my sister Monica had been taking math communications 101 with Mr. Ebers, Mr. Ebers. And I went to him and said, can I have your class? Because I need 12 units. And it was the end of the adding period. He had a full class, but he let me in to the class. I got an A on that class. My sister didn't. So then I went and took math communications 102 because I enjoyed it so much. And she
over the summer, I was considering stopping my education, right, and just kind of getting a job and doing what was expected of me. And Mr. Ebert sent me a letter in the mail saying if I was interested in joining the school paper in the fall semester. And I was reading that letter on the back porch. It was really hot that day, I remember. And my letter was passing from her room to the outside, to get me to come outside. And she asked me what I was doing. I said, well, Mr. Ebert sent me this letter. And he said, he's asking if I want to be on the school paper. And she said, if you're not ready, maybe you should give it a try. And it's that two people, a letter and a small passage comment from my mother changed my life. The rest I had to do on my own. But I mean, when you have that encouragement of a good professor or a good teacher, it makes a difference, especially if you're not coming from a background where there's a strong support system. So I went back, got on the school paper, and found that I was really, really good at it. And my journalism majors, communication majors, we're weird people. Find your tribe. I mean, you build a community, and I still am in contact with people I was on the school paper with from there. And we had the best time ever. So that's how I learned to write. Mr. Ebert literally said, this is how you structure a story, this is what a story needs, and I found out I had an aptitude for it. And I came from a very working class family, and what the goal was to get a stable job, and hopefully it was in the union, right? And I found out newspapers are unionized, and I said to I want to write for a newspaper, and I'm going to just sneak in the fact that I really enjoy writing. It's a job, and I get to do what I want. So I transferred to SF State, and majored in journalism, graduated, and I actually was making a living for a while. Until it all crashed. But that's my journey. And coming from not knowing what I was going to do, failing out of class, to really finding my calling. And that was thanks to my community college experience.
Thank you for sharing that. Well, now that we know more about your experience in college, we would like to dive deeper into after college. I know you did some reporting, like news reporting, and then you decided to be a novelist. Do you have any connections to grow in that field, or did you do it over yourself?
Once again, one thing that college does not teach me, and taught me to be hungry and how to eat rice once a day, they didn't teach us networking skills, right? And I think that's a valuable, that should be a class. Because if you do go to these high-end schools, they have alumni networks, they have, basically it's a built-in network that you're paying for, and also an education. SF State, unfortunately, didn't do that, but they did hold internship fairs. So I put my back into this. I said, I'm going to make sure I don't stop working, because I worked all through college. I actually would schedule my classes around my job. So it wasn't like, I would see people go off to study at the library, and I was like, well, I'm going to work now. So, I went to the library a few times just to read books, not to study. I had absolutely no background to get any job other than what I figured out on the field. I just would apply to jobs, would give hopefully a good interview, and then I moved from job to job to job. And there came a time where I had a newborn, and he was about 3 months old, and I was working at a .com, and I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, and I was very quietly and nicely told, well, we're going to have layoffs, so why don't you just go ahead and quit and stay home with your kid. And that's what it you can do that back then. I don't know, you can't get away with it now. So I found myself at home with a 3-month-old, and that's where my attention was for the next 3 years. And then I was married at the time, and I told the ex-husband, big X, I told him I earned 3 years of credit. I get to make this novel. I get to make this fiction thing work. And if I don't make it work by 3 years, I'll get a job. I'll go work for magazines, I'll freelance, I'll do what I have to do. So I ordered the Idiot's Guide to Publishing and How to Write Novels for Dummies. That was my MFA in creative writing, right there. Those 2 books. And I read them cover to cover, and plus I'm an e-reader. Thanks to the library, which is free, and I'm getting on offers from the other services besides just books. And I figured it out. And then I found through the course of all this, what really counts is clubs are important. Clubs are important because, you know, if you're offered to build a network here, you should do it because you never know who is going to go where and who can offer you a hand. I did it by being a good worker, a good friend, and setting my ego aside. So I've made really good author friends, and we have each other's backs. And that's the way it's kind of progressed. And I kept those friends from, like, Maritza, I met her in 2008, 2009, and we were still friends. And we still touch base with each other and see each other. And that's important. Being a decent good person and somebody who's easy to work with and reach your deadlines, that counts for a lot. Obviously, if I had like a fancy degree, it would maybe be a little easier, but it hasn't kept me from going where I was at with my friend Nicole. We were at the Berkeley Public Library Authors Dinner. And I was a featured author, table 8, I still have my place card. And they introduced all the authors, and they had a Nobel Prize winner, they had Pulitzer Prize winners, they had the guy who wrote Spare, and then there was me, 5 novels, GCC, SFSU, so you can make the most out of it, and it has perseverance, knowing what you're doing. Take the class. Honestly, take all the classes you can, because that's where you will work, and you have this time right now to explore different options and different avenues and gain from people who really do want you to succeed. So that's what I would suggest. Take as much class and take as many connections as you can.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Now let's talk about your book. So we saw the phrase Dulcina daughter, and we're very interested in that. What does that mean to you to be a Dulcina daughter?
I think I'm a great daughter. I too, but I understand also have put my parents in a challenging position because I have gone so far out of the norm as to what my other siblings have done and what they expected, and it has made them uncomfortable. But I've never gotten, I've never even gotten pregnant today. And some of my siblings, God, that's so very cool. I think the good Latina, it's a label and it's an anchor, and it really is. It does a disservice because to be a good Latina daughter, what you have to do is primarily identify as a daughter, and not as an individual, not as a woman, and not have aspirations other than to be what makes the family comfortable. And for me, that's just very exhausting and super limiting, and it's total BS. And I think it's about time we blow it up. That doesn't mean you can't be a good daughter, but don't tell me Dad, sorry. My dad got in my ear about this stuff, and he was really, my dad is a man of few words unless he better one, and he was like uncomfortable with the book, because I guess somebody in the family had read the book, and he said that I'm telling tales. And I said to him, no one gets to tell me what to write. I have paid my own way, I'm doing my own work, I get to write what I want to write, and you are lucky I get to write memoirs. So, and that's like, okay, because my dad and I are very similar, and I am his favorite, because, he's a man and he's an egoist, and he likes the best, and everyone can love him. But I came to a point with my family, with this book especially, I said it deals with some pretty heavy subject matters. It's not just a funny book, it's a little bit darker, a little bit more complex. I make no apologies for it. I'm really proud, and I'm just giving you a heads up. And to different degrees, they've been supportive, mostly by not giving me a hard time about it. But they should wait until the next book, because I did one half of the people like this. I'm going to the rest.
Thank you for sharing that. It's very powerful, and I think also something that we can connect, and I'm sure many other people in the Latinx community connect to, that pressure of what is it to be a good Latina daughter. And you actually touched somewhat on what my next question was. We know that you talk about different struggles, such as substance abuse, relationships, mental health. And these can be very stigmatized conversations to have in the Latinx community. So we were interested in knowing what kind of backlash did you get, and just like what were the other, like, you know, like what was the experience you got from publishers or just the political girls talking about this?
I got really lucky because my editor, Tony Kirkpatrick, is Latina. Originally from Boyle Heights, actually, and she understood the book in a way that it made me feel like I had the bravery to go forward. And it spoke to her. So in my previous notes, I think we tend to kind of minimize what we do. We kind of downplay it. And I had that big gap in publishing for almost a decade. And for me to say, for her to say that she really loved the book and she wanted to publish it, was a reality check, and also was okay, let's go for it. And so it turned into a really intense 3-month period of me reading what I wrote 20 years before very carefully and having the intellectual life I've lived going into this version of it. So it was much easier for me to be honest about things like substance abuse. I think alcoholism happens in Latino families, but we don't talk about it. We just have the uncle who tends to drink too much, but we never call an alcoholic an alcoholic. And I was ready to say, or deal with the drug, the super maternal tamale making mom. But that to me, that had to go. In this book, one of the riskier things is like, the mom is not a good mother. She's just not a good mother. She abusive to her daughters. And that made people very uncomfortable. And also just like the feeling of the pleasure of sex, and how stereotyped Latinos are that we're all ready to go, but that doesn't mean you're having good sex. And so I wanted the daughter, at least two of the daughters, to have some really good sex, not to be gratuitous, not to play into any stereotypes. It's because they, as women, have agency over their bodies and have a right to good sex. And this was the first book I felt comfortable enough to just fully go there. And that's why I lived there for 4 or 5 months. Because I figured if you have good sex, books sometimes give you one scene. And I was like, I've been quiet for a long time. We're going to get some good. It's very blunt, it's about pleasure and about a woman's pleasure. And those are things I think made my family uncomfortable and have made some readers uncomfortable, and I want to back up. I've been told that if I wasn't Latina, I'd be canceled, which is just bullshit. It's bullshit. And this is I guess I'm not a good Latina author, right? Like I'm not towing the line. We've already established I think I'm a great daughter, but maybe not a good Latina daughter, and I'm okay with that. So it's been really very interesting. And the wonderful thing is Tony had my back for every F word, for every I do have one C word. In there, and she said, I will back you up for every single one, and she has. So, and that's what I met Tony also about 2008, 2009. So, you're a decent person, and you do a good job, and people remember you. And she reached out to me and asked me if I had something that for her to read. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Margo Candela, for sharing everything with us. That's very interesting and helpful too. We have one last question today, which is, do you have any advice for honest question students who have come? Is there anything that if you could go back and like have someone tell you when you were going through this process to share with us today?
Have a better attitude. By the time I was going to graduate from SFC, I was so burnt out. I would spend some class time adding up my credits to make sure no one was going to say, oh, by the way, you missed a class. Take advantage of this time, really take advantage of the time and the freedom you have, and demand, well, not demand, but honestly take advantage of the fact that there are resources. The one thing I didn't do for myself in junior college was I didn't ask for help. I didn't realize I could have gone to a guidance center and said, I'm having issues at home. I have missed so much class. I don't know what to do. I didn't do that because, we're supposed to keep things quiet. That was one regret. I made life a lot harder for myself, and I still have up until recently. Reach out for help. There are people out there who are happy to share resources with you. And like this whole journey, I could not be here as far as I've gotten without my friend Nicole, honestly. She really, truly, if anyone thinks about me some PR marketing help, she's a woman. And she not only is good, great, and professional and ambitious, she's more ambitious than I am. She is a good person and a good friend. And I think that's what you need when you're doing something that is a little scary, that you have no idea, and sometimes you just put up with front. You need your people. You need your community, you need your network, and sometimes they have to, and sometimes they honestly should come outside from the family, because family at times wants you to stay in your lane. And right now, I mean, the highway is open to me. I've alienated everyone on the highway. I'm totally okay. Yes, I will be going home for Thanksgiving, but it's an interesting ride, and I'm at the wheel, and that's a wonderful thing to do. How much, and I can add up, I maybe spent total, I won't count. I spent maybe $30,000, $40,000 on my education. I know that's not what you guys are paying now. I got my money. I honestly have, and not only because I got a good education, I got a life out of it. So that's what I would encourage. While you're here on campus, sign up for classes, sign up for clubs. Take advantage of the time that you have here. And I think that's why I truly believe in community colleges, especially for students like us who don't have a direct pathway into a four-year university.
Thank you so much. And now I think we leave the microphone to anyone who is having any more questions.
Right, and we were just talking, Nicole and I had a few more questions, if it's okay. One thing I loved about your novel was that there were scenes in San Francisco. Like, I've been there, and then I imagine your readers in LA feel the same way. Can you talk about the fact that you grew up in LA, in the southern part of the state, and moved up here, and talk about like the differences between Southern California and Northern California, and what it's like, what brought you back? So I'm so glad you're back in San Francisco.
LA and San Francisco are very, very different. I will never, I have my little green hat with my LA Kings emblem, and I wear that name all the time. I will never deny I'm from LA. The thing is, with San Francisco, what I realized, people from San Francisco look down on LA, and when you tell anyone in LA about San Francisco, they're like, I love San Francisco. The other thing I've noticed is eye contact and smiling and saying hello. I still haven't lost that LA part of myself. San Francisco people just kind of walk past. I still make eye contact. I still say hello. And I'm not looking to get discovered or anything. I'm just trying to be a good neighbor. The biggest difference for me is freedom. I had the freedom to come up here the first time for college, and I moved back up in last year because my son graduated from Boston University, so he he had it easy, but he did really well. And I said to my son, well, you're going to stay on the East Coast, it's time for me to do what I need to do for myself. And I packed up my whole house. I stayed with a friend, rented from a friend for a little while. And it's a life choice. And I think that if you do have a chance to go away to college, even if it's moving out of your parents' house, I would do it. Because as hard as it is, finding that true sense of self and independence and self-reliance, it's going to take you far. And like I said, he would have gone to Scotland if he could. And he stopped at Boston. And literally, he applied for the school. I dropped him off at school without him ever been to that city. I said, here's the dining hall. Here's where you do your laundry. Here's how it works. Here's a comforter. See ya. And I left him there. And he's done really, really well. And I try to be the parent and mother to him that I didn't necessarily get. And I think that's really important. Sometimes you have to parent yourself. And now as I have no parental supervision, and I'm looking to have some fun in San Francisco.
You might have already answered this. Why did you choose San Francisco State? Because that was far from home.
I chose the state because I wanted to be in the city. I knew I did, and they had a journalism program. I had some familiarity with the city, and I said, if I'm going to go anywhere, if I'm going to leave home, and I had a feeling I was never going to go back, and I never did go back. I got back to my parents' house at least. I wanted to be somewhere where I wanted to live, and I wanted to see what the city had to offer. It's a beautiful city, it's a diverse city, it has a rich literary community. I didn't know it at the time, because I was into it, I'm more plugged into it. I just wanted to be somewhere cool and different and liberal and open, and that's what San Francisco offered.
And is that what brought you back to live here? You could live anywhere now.
I almost did. I almost literally said, I'm just going to catch the train and see where it goes. What brought me back was I made very good friends. From all those years, like Nicole's sister Yvonne, I met my first week of college. And then I met Nicole. I have another friend who I met. She used to work at the Kids Club at 24 Hour Fitness. So I've known her since my son was about 3 or 4 months old. So yeah, I have a community here, and that's important because you have to have something outside of your family. And that you should, you guys are around the world, so you know, it's important to have people that are, might be friends, and this is what I tell my son, that are also family. You treat them, maybe treat them better than your family.
I also read your first novel, which I loved. I'm probably going to get the title wrong. Underneath It All?
Yes.
I love that novel, and just like this one, I couldn't put it down, but I didn't want it to end. Can you tell us the story of how did you get that first novel published? Because I can imagine, I think this is your 5th novel. Okay, I can kind of picture you've already been a novelist, so although I don't think it's easy, but getting that first novel published must have been hard. How did you do it? What did it feel like? And then the third part of the question is, what was it like to tell your family, hey, I'm getting my first novel published?
That novel was, it was the first pancake, right? I had no idea what it was doing. I had a pretty good idea of what kind of story I wanted to tell. I had no background in publishing or getting an agent, so I treated it as a job. I had a spreadsheet where I would query agents, and then the rejections were red, and the babies were yellow, and one green. One green, and the one green came about. Again, my first editor, Sumai Hernandez, she was at Kensington. She reached out to me. I had a wiki website that I made with Microsoft Publisher on my own. She had insomnia, and she found my website, and she reached out to me. So she was my editor for the first 4 novels. When it happened, and I made it before my deadline. I made it in that 3-year period. When it happened, it was kind of a oh shit. And then I remember when my contract came, I demanded that this was a special occasion for me to sign it. And so the only restaurant we could all agree on, we were 30 of 10, was Outback Steakhouse. I sat at the head of the pushing at the table, and we were all talking, and I said, quiet, I am about to sign my contract. I demanded the attention, and I signed the contract. And then when the check came, I opened my bank account, I took it to the bank to deposit it, and I asked the guy for $1. And so he was like, what do you want $1 for? And I said, this is my first book contract. And I kept that dollar, and now it's in plexiglass. And then I'll take a picture and share it on my social media. I got my first dollar that I earned as a writer, as a novelist. And the first thing I ever bought with my very first paycheck was a Webster's dictionary, which I still have. And I have to remember, this belongs to me and only me.
And what was it like showing it to your mom and dad, or your sisters, or aunts and uncles? They
were, to certain degrees, below. They had no idea what I was doing, how I was doing it, and what was going to come of it. It turned into, I think in their minds, a very glorified hobby. And after a while, I just stopped talking about it. And, I mean, I ask my siblings about their jobs, and I'm always really happy for them, but I don't think they understand what I do. And that's okay, even though we're big readers. But having a writer in the family, I remember one time when I was at SSA, I went to visit my sister at the mall. She worked at the shopping center at the sock store. And she said to her friend, be careful what you say around Margo, because she pays attention and she'll write it down. Yeah.
You know, I was interested in the title of the book. I'm sorry I butchered it in your introduction, Neapolitan Sisters. I remember as a kid eating, does anyone remember Neapolitan ice cream? Yeah. Can you tell us, I believe, I watched a lot of YouTube videos with you, Margo, and I think you had to fight for that title because I think it was, to some folks it didn't sound Latino enough. Can you tell the story of why is it called the Neapolitan Sisters? And tell us the story, did you have to fight for it?
The title, the thing with titles of books, it's very rare that the title the author submits gets to be the title. I have had very good luck with all my titles. I've always gotten my titles. And I'm really good at, I've titled 2 novels or 2 bestsellers for friends because I really like coming up with titles. For me, it was always the Neapolitan Sisters because it was about 3 sisters, and I thought about the sandwich. And what is, you got the chocolate, the vanilla, and the strawberry. Maritza is the strawberry, Claudia is the vanilla, and Dulcina is the chocolate. And even though you separate them, they're all always joined together, and you need one to bridge together. And that's what Claudia does for the sisters. She bridges the chocolate and the strawberry. It was the day, and I was talking to Nicole about this, the day before I was due to turn in the first major edit. So this was it, like the book is going to go into production. I get an email from the publisher saying that they were raising concerns now about the title. Because I guess the sales team who pitches it to Barnes & Noble and whatever didn't understand how Latinas could be associated with the word Neapolitan. And this is when I had my agent at the time. I said to her, F word. This is an issue. I am really pissed off. I've already justified writing the title. I cited passages in the book specifically about the title. They wanted me to come up with the blank sisters. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? Wild Heights has a rich history that was from Italian and Jewish. And I said, I'm going to include more of that history in the book. I added sections to the book right before I was going to turn it in. So I said, you can call them the Chicharron sisters, the Chutzpah sisters, or the Neapolitan sisters. I have them all covered now. But I also did the smart thing. As pissed as I was, I realized I wasn't going to be my best advocate. I needed somebody who was more diplomatic to do it, and my agent, she made her argument, somebody else came and made an argument for it, and then they got, okay, we're keeping the title. That's bullshit, honestly. I don't see what else you could call the book. I honestly, and to me, it's not just an ego thing or whatever. That was the title of the book. That was what it's meant to be called. And to have it questioned based on a salesperson's marketing, whatever. Like, you obviously read the first chapter. It's like, oh, they're Latina. I don't understand. So he understood after that.
As a librarian, our profession is like 85% white. Something like that. It's really a white profession. And it's also heavily female. I don't know, but I think the publishing world is also heavily white. What is it? Can you talk about being a Latina in what I believe is a pretty white publishing world? And correct me if I'm wrong.
You are not wrong. It is primarily white. The decision makers are male. It's very insular, and there's a lot of myopia. And first of all, I mean, you have really passionate people that love books, and they don't get paid a lot and they're overworked. And then you have the people above them, who are the ones who are making the decisions and who are running the companies, who don't necessarily, who think in terms of, is this book in the South? It hasn't been easy. I have built a really good community of fellow Latina authors, and we have each other's back. And you think I'm complaining now. I'm really holding back because this is probably going to come back and bite me in the ass, but that's okay. I think at this point, at this time that I'm doing this again, I have, the support has been so much greater. And the openness has been so much greater. But it's still a business. You have to do a good job. And you have to make those connections. And you have to prove that these books will sell. And the only way they sell is if I do what I can I believe I'm supporting the book. I'm not here for myself. I'm here because I believe in the book. And I want the book to do well. That's why I have to ask people, if you do read it, please post a review. You know, it doesn't have to be a long one. If you have a book club, I will zoom in, or I will participate. I will request other friends. I will support other friends like I did with you, Ingrid. It's just, it's one of those things where we have to do a lot of double work because we don't get the resources, especially someone in my position where I'm kind of in the gray area. I'm not writing literary fiction, and I'm not writing like serial commercial fiction. I'm in a funky area, but I'm a middle child, so I'm used to it.
Are you the chocolate or the strawberry and vanilla?
I am mostly vanilla, but I'm mostly
Well, we should ask some questions from the audience. Can we give a big round of applause? Because the folks on live stream won't hear it, and so let's hear from our wonderful professor.
Happy to take a moment here. I relate to a lot of what you said. Really, in terms of, I remember flunking out, and then, but I also remember at some point saying, no, I'm going to get a PhD in economics, which is, for people who don't know, is mathematics applied to the social sciences. That's what economics is. But I had to make that decision. And do you think, did you make that decision? You said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And was there a decision about, I'm going to be a good student? I'm going to put all my effort out there? Or do you think we don't need to be good students, we can just hang out and don't put the effort? Thank you.
I made the decision to do what I had to do right by myself. And that meant I wasn't necessarily a good student, but I got my work done. I didn't enjoy being a student because I didn't have that. I had to work. I think there comes a point, especially if you're coming from a background where there isn't a direct pathway, you do have to choose yourself first. You have to ignore family obligations. You have to enjoy. You have to be selfish. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because people are selfish in all sorts of ways, but how is you bettering yourself and wanting to accomplish something selfish? I decided I was ashamed that I failed. I really, really was. And I knew I was capable of doing something going forward that I just, not to discourage it, I just didn't want to get a job. I wanted to do something. And the only way I was going to do that is if I pursued an education. And that's what I did.
Thank you. Here's a question.
I'm going to steal my professor's last question, and I think it connects to your story and how much you struggled, especially as a Latina, and a lot of people here can relate that being a Latina in first generation, it's really hard to get support because you're always told negatively, and you're like, I guess, you believe it, even though you shouldn't. And I've been taking the Chicano studies, which I've learned a lot throughout the semester. And one of the questions that Professor Lara asked last class was, how come the Latinx community find it hard to see a finish line? And as you, I felt like you've overcome and you've had a lot of obstacles in like getting to where you are now and to being able to publish your first book, but also getting a degree. I'm a first generation too, and it's like really hard, and I push myself every day. I want to know what your input.
I think a lot of it comes from having a really strong work ethic where you are rewarded for hard work but not necessarily for success. Success is actually makes Latinos uncomfortable. That means you're stepping out of the box and veering out of your lane. I think what you have to do is start talking to different people. You need to not necessarily put a lot of weight into your family loves you, but they might not necessarily know you. Right? And maybe they shouldn't. You have a right to have your own life and your own identity and pursue your own ambitions. And the only way you're going to do that is if you decide to do it, are very stubborn, and you also build a support network. Going it alone, I can tell you right now, it's very hard work. It took me a long time to reach out for help. Surprisingly, I've been in therapy for a long time, and it still took me a long time to reach out for help. And realizing that there are people genuinely that come into your life who will extend a hand to you without expecting anything in return. And then you can offer someone a hand. I think that's the most important thing. That you have to believe that you are worth it, and you are entitled to be your own person and have your own thing. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice, family connections or whatever. They'll get over it. Because what are you going to do? What are you going to do that is so horrible? There are things you can do. It's funny enough, the enabling that goes on in Latino, the worst ones are usually the ones that get the most support. And the ones that are rightly trying to make something of their lives are ignored and maybe even discouraged. No. Just you carve out that time, you carve out that attention, you carve out what you need for yourself before you give anyone anything of your time, your trouble, and your effort. Good for you. Do what you need to do. It's not a bad thing. You might get your dad yelling in your ear, but he's on the phone. You can hang up.
Who else has a question? Okay. Yes, here we go.
Do you have any advice for graduate students? Anything that you think would have helped you with your process yourself? I wish there was a program like this when I was in community college. I wish I would have availed myself of the resources and services that I would have asked for help, and that I wouldn't have tried to dig myself out of a hole of my own making. And the only way I was able to do that was through a lot of hard work and stress, and not really feeling like I could reach out to anyone. I think having a community support, making a connection with friendships you make now, and keeping the ones that are valuable and then teach you and you can feed into them, that's the most important thing you can do. So things like this didn't happen when I was in school. Things like this didn't happen with my first four novels. It's only now that there's much more awareness and openness to, it's okay for me to be, I would like to make a lot more money, but I am successful. Honestly, I have made something out of my own imagination. How wonderful is that? And I really do have to give myself, credit for doing what I've done. And also having a great network of friends and support. And that also takes nourishment. You're doing the right thing, If whatever you decide to do, I hope you are successful and we'll see what can happen.
There's a question right here.
I'm actually going to be attending State fall. I'm wondering what kinds of clubs you join in, were they all related to fighting?
I was on the school paper. I took my journalism courses to get my credits. I did not join the club, but it was very clicky. The journalism one. I remember, who was getting their stuff printed and was getting more work now because they were in good with the editors. I was so pissed off at that point that I did my assignments and I did well. And I remember twice I was assigned a sidebar for the school magazine. And I did such a damn good job, they wanted me to turn it into a story, and I said no. I said, you gave me 400 words, now that you realize it could have been a whole story, that I did pitch you as a story, and you decided to only sidebar, and now you're seeing that there is a whole story here. I have to work. So don't shoot yourself in the foot that way, but also know your worth. I was down at SF State a few months ago. Drastically changed. It's a really nice campus. It's a very vibrant campus. There are a lot of resources out there, and I would say just look around to see what's there. I didn't have as much fun as I could have because my concern was how am I going to pay my rent, and I'm hungry, But you get what you put out of it, what you put into it. And I hope congratulations, and I hope you have a very successful Sunday and you enjoy yourself. It's a wonderful campus.
I'm sure if you already mentioned this because it came a little bit later, but what was the most major setback that you had when it came to putting your stuff out there?
I had no network. I was flying blind. I did treat, and I still treated it as a job. So every email I sent, every query I sent was me trying to get a job of author. I think I took one creative writing class at the very end of my college life, and it was painful because I was so used to writing as a journalist that I had divorced my own self from my writing process. That was a really good experience. I still won't write poetry and I won't do it because it's disappointing. But I think the biggest hurdle was it's hard. This doesn't happen often. It happens even less often for somebody like me. It's like winning the lottery. And I won the lottery in 2005 and I won it again in 2022. And it's something I'm really proud of, and it's because I did decide to take a chance on myself and believe in myself. And that's the most important thing. Also, be open to criticism. Constructive criticism. A good editor will make you a better writer. And a good editor will tell you when something is not working. Just because you wrote the words doesn't mean that they're so precious. I always keep the reader in mind. This is my job, and I want to do a good job. Like I wanted to do a good job when I worked at La Boca at the mall. I want to make sure I give you the best cup of coffee. I still have the attitude, it's a very working class attitude.
Wow. Well, we have time for one more question from this student. But before we have that question, I just want to say if you'd like to buy a copy of the book, our friend Zach from Book Passage is there. Yay, we love Book Passage. And I'm sure Ms. Candela would be happy to autograph the book for you. She'll be sitting right next to Zach. And we're just so grateful to you. And here is your last. And also, we're so grateful to Jessica and Marina. Let's give them a Okay, here's the last question.
Yes, I'm single.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that you said is that there is a certain level of stubbornness needed to persuade forward into these events. I have had times where I've been unapologetically stubborn and have had that backfire against me. Would you say that there are certain instances where a level of stubbornness is needed, but you need to, where would you say the point of stubbornness you need to kind of reel it back? I've had times where I've just blown through it.
I was so stubborn I got married. Let's just put it that way. And I stayed not married because I was so stubborn. I think it comes down to stubborn is one way of putting it. Determined is, I think, a better way. Being determined doesn't mean you shoot yourself in the foot. I think if you have a good friend or somebody who comes to tell you and calls you out on your behavior where it crosses a line that you are actually hurting yourself or hurting your chances, you need to listen to that person. And you have some self-awareness. You know when you're being an a-hole. It's just like, you need to call yourself out and be very honest with yourself. And maybe, this works for me, write it down. Write it down, because when it comes from your mind and you see it in your own hand, in your own print, there's no denying what's going on. Being stubborn, I think, is good. I think being stubborn got my father from leaving his family ranch across the border without knowing anyone to building a family and owning a home and now retired. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't know. He said to me that he knew he would never have a life of his own if he didn't leave his family's ranch. That's tenacity, stubbornness, ego, all those things I think are good things. You just need to be self-aware to know when that is working against you, because it does work against you. It has worked against me in the past. But I'm divorced now, so that problem is taken care of. Now I like to see myself as determined. I think stubborn, I've been told I'm stubborn. I'd say let's talk that out and determined.
Margo, I actually have one last question. How can readers learn about what you have going on you social media? Do you have a newsletter?
I do have a newsletter thanks to my friend Nicole Margo, who would not let me not do it. And who every month says, here's your due date. I need a due date, like a good journalist, you need a deadline. I have a newsletter that you can sign up for on my website, margocandela.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, still on Twitter. And if once something else, an alternative happens, I will be signing up for that. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always looking for a good reason to procrastinate, so I will answer you back immediately.
Thank you. Once again, everyone, Margo Candela.
I wanna get the picture that they took us.
This is for you. And you can have her sign it. You did great. Both of you were wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Your questions were excellent, and you were poised, friendly. I don't know if you were nervous, but
I was very nervous. Yeah.
It was not connected. Sorry. What do you mean the microphone was not connected?